Hello everyone, my name is Caleb and welcome to the Unfiltered podcast. In this series, I'll be sitting down with some of the most inspiring young leaders. I'll be interviewing the behind the scenes of these successful advisors. If you're someone who's curious to understand what goes behind the scenes for these successful advisors, or if you're someone looking for a potential career switch, this series is for you. Let's dive in. In today's episode, we have Jon Kit here with us. He started off as a student advisor in SIT, and today he's an associate director leading a team of more than 30 advisors. Over the past years, he has advised more than 500 individuals on their portfolio and attained many industry accolades. Good to have you here on the podcast, Jon Kit.
Yes, good to be here, Caleb.
Jon Kit, why don't you share with us on how was life like for you before FA?
Okay, so I joined FA right after ORD lah. Yeah, so before that I was in poly for 3 fruitful years. Those that want to know, actually you go and scroll my Instagram, you can see lah, like almost a whole, maybe 50% of my posts are all the Ngee business and accountancy scene kind of stuff. Yeah, those kind of things lah, Mr. BA or whatever. Yeah, but I think a lot of the experiences, surprisingly, they shaped me to the person I am today lah. I mean, like if I didn't take on those leadership roles, those additional responsibilities, and forsake a bit of my studies, then maybe I wouldn't be the person I am today lah, I think. Yeah, but yeah, I think that was life before FA lah.
I met Jon Kit when I was in poly. I didn't really meet him, I just know that he existed because of his reputation. Yeah, Mr. BA, Mr. Business and Accountancy. Yeah, so okay, I'm sure a lot of things transpired for you in poly. Could you share with us maybe one of the most memorable experience that you had in poly that you think shaped who you are today?
Okay, maybe when I mention this, a lot of the people will be like, here he goes again, here he goes again. But I think there was one specific leadership camp lah, right? That I took. I was fortunate enough to be selected lah, to be part of for the 3 years of my poly, and then after that from a camper there, then I managed to transit to take on a leadership position and leadership role there, and I think finally as a leader for the leaders, sort of like the head facilitator kind of thing, and I think through that experience, on top of the other experiences as well, like BA Society and whatnot, like Business Accountancy Society and whatnot, it sort of brought out the best in me in a sense, or the worst in me also, which I think I'm also fortunate to have been able to find out about myself. Right, there are certain things that I'm better at. There are certain things that I could have improved on, and I think these roles that I took, that I intentionally put myself in, and fortunately also was given the opportunity to be part of, helped to bring out that aspect that I never knew that I had.
Yep. And
I think now when I'm sort of leading my own team of associates, which I'm also very humbled that they and grateful that they chose me as sort of a mentor figure. I think that's where these past experiences help me in this sort of leadership journey, I would say.
Yeah. I think it's great that you shared how all these experiences has also helped to make you who you are today. And if I were to zoom out from poly, meaning even before poly, in life in general, are there any experiences that really has impacted you?
Okay, I think one thing that I also take the time, again, same, all my closer friends would know of this, right? And I think my clients, I also make a point, especially when we speak about the topic of insurance, we also speak a lot about this. Basically, it's the passing of my brother. Yeah, last time, very long ago, when I was primary 3, I had a primary 1 brother, right? And he actually, unfortunately, passed on due to a very sudden heart condition, right? Which our family weren't even aware that we had. Right? Only upon his passing, then we went to everybody went to do a full body checkup. Then we realized that actually, myself, my younger sis, and my dad also had the same heart condition.
So from birth, you didn't find out?
Yeah, we weren't aware at all. So it was very sudden, and even my primary school friends, maybe they are watching this or not, they will be very familiar with this story because, they were there for the morning assembly. I remember when the principal was suddenly sobbing on stage, and I wasn't even aware that actually in the morning my father actually and my mother were actually at the hospital, and he passed on there and then, right, my brother. So I think that experience sort of like, of course at that point of time when I was primary 3, it didn't hit me that hard because I wasn't as mature in a sense. But on hindsight, when I think back, I think from that specific ordeal, it helped to emphasize the importance of like making full use of the time that we have here.
Yeah.
I mean, as cliche as it sounds, right? I mean, but honestly speaking, it made me realize that actually there's really not much time that we don't know how much time we have here. And our family and our friends are people that we should cherish every single day, and we should show their appreciation every once in a while because we never know when that last time will be. Yeah, and yeah, I think that has shaped me to make a lot of the decisions that I made throughout the past 27, 28 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you all did the checkup as a whole family and you found out for yourself that you had this condition, how did you react to that?
Okay, so that also, I think from that actually transpired to a lot of other sudden events that happened also. And I think army, when I was deprived of the chance, okay, not say deprived lah, bopian also lah, in a sense, like they cannot put me in a PES fit status. And I felt like at the start of army, my close friends will also know that I was very dejected. And I think, some people might call me crazy lah, because like they want to chowking and everything. But to me, I feel like if I'm going to spend 2 years doing something, because I have to, then I might as well make full use of it lah, right?
Go command school.
Correct lah, maybe command school, and maybe that would teach me more things, maybe even more sort of like experiences compared to just from poly, right? Because it's really like people are counting and relying on you already. But yeah, I wasn't given the opportunity, and I think that also made me very demoralized at the start of my army when I remember those like countless trips to the MO just to appeal. Yeah, again, really, people will really call me crazy because they really
appeal to up your PES.
Yeah, because everyone will go there to appeal to like down PES, but yeah, as I mentioned. So I think, but from the experience, that really affected me a lot when I saw my friends all going to command school, even yourself, right? Then I also felt like it's really very sian. But from there I realized, actually we should make full use of the time that we have and the circumstances that we are put in, and we shouldn't spend so much time harping or worrying on things that are beyond our control. Yeah, and we should focus on those things that are within our control, and we can still make the best out of like our circumstances if we choose to lah. So I think from that ordeal, then I picked myself up and I tried to make the best out of the situation I was in. Then okay lah, PES E9L9 lah, worst PES ever, but I still managed to, I still remember, it's a small achievement, but I managed to obtain like best trainee like from my BMT, right? It was still BMT lah, not those kind of like physical one, but I still managed to do my best, and I managed to get third sergeant. Again, small feats, but I felt like it was a big win for me lah. Yeah, so okay lah.
I think it really reminded me that, in life, sometimes we are dealt with a deck of cards, and we cannot choose the cards that we are dealt with. And this is how the cards that you're dealt with in your life. So for a group of people, they will be like, oh, no choice, lor. I'm just like that, my family is just like that, my situation is like that, then too bad for me, right? And they victimize themselves and they feel that, oh, that's all, too bad for them. But on the other hand, there are people like you that despite the cards, you still want to see how can I play this card to your advantage. Yeah, so despite the PES status, you still work hard, you get a top trainee and you promoted to sergeant. I think all these things are really a testament of your character. Right? It shows already who you are even right before your career started, and of course, moving into your career, it also amplifies the value, the character that you are as an advisor. Yeah, so I'm curious for yourself, when did you encounter FA? Was it during army or was it when you were already starting in SIT?
Actually, it's right in between. Like I think, when we are in army, we have that phase of the last few months, where last 6 months are maybe to be more exact, like where you are just very clueless. Like some people have a direction, then you are just clearing leave, going all those like FFI, all these. Then you're just thinking, hey, what's next after that? So after a 3 years in poly of like fun-filled activities and having so much fun, probably the best amount of fun or time that I had in my life, then moving on to 2 years of NS, then I realized, wow, it's about time that I start to think about what's next. And then suddenly hit me, right? And when I was at that sort of crossroads, I think that's where my good friend, Jovan, right? He had already stumbled upon FA already, actually. And of course, it was you that brought him introduced the business to him. And I think that's when he, being a very, very close friend of mine for over 10 years already. Childhood friend since primary school, secondary school, all same. And even poly also same. And I think we are fated to be together in a sense. And he brought up this topic to me. In fact, I was very, very hesitant at first when he mentioned this to me about FA and everything. But he just told me this all. Actually, he sees that it's something that I might be able to do well, which I really, really doubted right? Yeah. Then after about 1-2 months of maybe school, then I realized, okay, actually why I turned it down so fast. Then I went back to him. I said, okay, tell me a bit more first. Then I make a decision. Then he did. And one thing led to another. Then after that, I just stumbled upon it. So I think, no regrets in a sense. Yeah.
Just to go back, you mentioned that you were hesitant. So what exactly were you hesitant about?
The standard reasoning You know, people always say FA is very heavily stigmatized, which it is still today I would say it is still heavily stigmatized today. I think it's just at that point of time, because I didn't give myself the chance to understand it a bit further, maybe like 1 or 2 out of 10, right, of understanding of what FA is and what it's about, what is the income structure like, what is the value that you can provide based on the solutions that we have. All these things I don't really understand at all, but I just judged it based off what people say and what people tell me, and maybe what I see also and experience. Then maybe that was the part that that made me feel hesitant to join. But that's why I went back to him after that. After 1-2 months of thinking, then I realized actually, is it really very fair for me to judge something or somewhere based off like what people tell me? So sort of like advice versus opinion kind of concept. So I give it a try. Then here we are.
You know, especially with your reputation in school when you were in poly and all these things that you have done right, I'm sure reputation is very important to you.
Yes.
So the fact that you're coming into a career that is stigmatized and people say, wow, Jon Kit gonna become FA. So how do you overcome this objection or overcome this obstacle for yourself when you made that decision?
Okay, I feel like it's more of the fact that we have to, it's sort of like understanding the value that I can provide as a problem solver.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, if there's a specific competency or knowledge gap that my friends have, friends first because when I started, they were all my friends, right? They are still all my friends, but previously there was no client or no client, right? I mean, after I joined the career, potentially I have this friend that I care about, I'm concerned about. He or she is about to maybe enter the workforce, and there might be some misalignment or misunderstandings of what they might have or what their parents got for them. For example, right, when you talk about the topic of insurance, then I think that's where if I see the value that I can provide as a bridge between what they think about insurance and what they should know about insurance, then I can bridge that gap. I feel like that's where my value stands, and that's where I feel like I might not be viewed as somebody that's very negative or someone that's just pushing or shoving things down their neck or whatsoever Yeah, so important what we tell ourselves or how we view ourselves right? If we view ourselves as just another salesperson, then maybe that's how we will subconsciously portray ourselves as well. Yeah.
So it seems like you recognize that the stigma is on the industry, and as long as you don't do the actions that has stigma, then you won't be associated with this whole entire stigma.
Correct. I mean, at the end of the day, like how you portray yourself is important, right? And if you're going to portray yourself as somebody that's, maybe you take it one step back. If you are somebody that has, ill intentions or like maybe more self-centered intentions, which I mean is normal, right? Every human has those kind of intentions, but I mean, like if you take it, you let it consume you, right? And not and in a sense like let it overtake your entire objective in a sense, then that might lead you to make certain moves that might come off as distasteful, and then when that happens, then you cannot. Then there's no one else to blame, Yeah. So I think as long as we stay true to the commitment that we have to our friends, and we really sincerely want to help you understand a bit. Since you're not sure, then I help you understand. Then okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, so
good. At least you have a stand and you know exactly what you can provide to others. Then from there, they can make an informed decision to see whether they like to work with you.
yeah.
And over the years, do you have any experiences with clients, right? Any interactions that really impacted you and gave you even more conviction?
I think one specific event comes to mind, right, where this particular family was introduced to me by another friend that I had, but we were not very close lah. Okay, and when I went to meet that family, and they were referrals lah, meaning to say they were a referral, meaning to say that I didn't know them beforehand. But yet I think they trusted the person that referred them to me lah, right? Hence I remember I picked up the phone, I give them a call, I went to their place, and I think even though it was the first time meeting me, right, maybe I was fortunate enough to create a good impression as well. I think they trusted me, and immediately in the first meeting they were open to let me know about their current financial situation, their policies that they bought over the entire span of maybe 10-20 years. And I think from that one meeting, it led to a second and third and fourth meeting and fifth meeting. So we actually met quite a number of times because they were very concerned and they were very specific to the things that they want. And through those meetings, right, they actually, I was very fortunate. They actually shared their life story with me, and they shared their upbringing. They shared how much hardship they went through to get to the stage that they are today. And they actually live in a very nice landed property, and yeah, they shared their experiences with me, and I felt like they didn't need to, but they wanted to. And I feel like from that experience, I realized that there's more than meets the eye. Like you know, like maybe in Singapore we are so like quick to judge. Like, oh, just because maybe you live in a private property, you had it easy all your life, or someone passed it to you or something like that. But I think really when you actually sit down and understand their life story, you realize there's really much more that went behind the scenes. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to experience that and hear that firsthand from them lah. Yeah, so given that I didn't know them beforehand, I felt I was very lucky also that, and I was also very grateful that they gave me this opportunity to be their agent.
Yeah, and I really second that because through my years here, I've listened to many stories, and sometimes I feel very blessed to be here because as I interact with people from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different life experiences, I learn a lot. And everyone I meet, I learn. And for you, there are also some families that really shared with me everything in terms of their life experience, in terms of advice and everything. And of course, they supported me all the way. And I feel this feeling that you also feel, right? Which is blessed, that actually as a person, we also grow a lot as we interact with more and more clients.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, currently in the firm, if you bring up the name Jon Kit, people will know that he's currently the top associate director in the firm. Yeah, so in many people's definition, it's like, Jon Kit is quote unquote successful. Okay, maybe could you share with us what are some strengths that has helped you to reach the level of success today?
I think for me, I'm someone that, as mentioned just now, in poly, I feel like I was extroverted, right? So, so I mean, back with me, why I would say that is a strength of mine is because I feel like it's because of my open-mindedness. I think I consider myself a quite open-minded person. I am very open to hearing different people's perspectives on how they would do certain things, or maybe understand a bit more about their upbringing. I find it's quite interesting. I mean, on that point, when I go overseas, I'm very interested in like different people's cultures, like how they run their day-to-day. Because Singapore, we are very straightdown, like it's very very standard, you know. So I get very intrigued to find out, like, when I go overseas, like this person that I met, maybe doing a specific activity like drinking or whatsoever at a bar, at a pub, then I just start a conversation and I get very intrigued. And I think this has been quite consistent, right? In fact, I've probably been a bit more intense with these kind of like outreaches or like making friends with strangers and whatnot over the years. Yeah. So since poly until now, it has just been intensified. And I think that has led me to sort of create more opportunities for myself and also for my guys, right? And it's something that I always encourage them to do. So like be open-minded because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? If you just make another friend, or maybe you just choose not to be around that specific person that you meet, maybe, right? So I think, yeah, that's one, right?
I mean on this note, since you're on this topic, you know, there are usually some people that are exploring the career, they tell me that, oh, I'm not an extrovert, therefore I cannot do well. So what's your take on that? Do you need to be an extrovert to do well in this career?
Okay, I mean, to me is, I've spoken with a lot of, and I do have some associates that are also naturally introverted, right? And yet they are still doing exceptionally okay, right? The answer that I have is no lah. You don't need to be an extrovert to do exceptionally well, right? Because extroverts like me, honestly, I can tell you lah. For me, maybe compared to an introvert, I might not be as maybe detail oriented. I might not be as soft-spoken, which I think to me is maybe some people value that in an advisor. Because I talk like that, talk like up and down, jumpy. Right? So some people value somebody that's a bit more maybe 斯文 or whatever. Like, you know, like someone that's a bit more calm, someone that's a bit more composed. Right? I'm just a bit more expressive. Right? So I think there are pros, right, to each. There are strengths to each, extroverted and introverted. It's just how are you going to maybe translate that into a tasteful enough approach or comfortable enough approach for the friends and the network that you have around you. So yeah, don't have to be extroverted.
Great, I mean, just want to get your take on that. And I definitely agree on your part where you talk about being open-minded, right? Just to see where things go. What about two other strengths that you think has helped you succeed?
I feel like, personally for me, I am not somebody that gives up easily. Yeah, like when I set my mind to a specific task, okay, for example, this career, right? Even though at the start I was very hesitant, but I feel like that hesitance was because I knew that if I were to commit, I confirm go all in. Yeah, so that's why I need to be very, very sure. And hence I was very hesitant at first, but after I understood it and I got enough information, I knew this is something I need to double, triple, quadruple down already. And I think that showed, essentially that also led me to make certain decisions in my uni. I took, not advice to every student advisor, but I knew that because I was on a trimester schedule in uni, so it was my time was very, very tight. So I knew I also needed to do well in this line also because I made that choice already, right? And I didn't want to incur more opportunity costs, right? As compared to a student that maybe just focus on studies. So I actually made that decision, which I thought long and hard about, to take a leave of absence from school. And something about the leave of absence that if I were to take from the school SIT, right? I cannot take one trimester break because there are prerequisites. So I had to take 1 year. So I took 1 year LOA just to tell myself that I'm going to give myself a deadline. Right? If I were to do well, I continue. If I don't do well, not up to my own standards, then I need to reconsider. Yeah. So in a sense, I cornered my mind. Yeah. So I think for me, this is something that I feel like it's the same approach that I take on after my first year in the business. Now I'm about fourth or my fifth year in the business already, and I think it's still the same approach I take to things. I don't want to give up easily. If my clients have a specific issue that they need solving, if I myself do not have that competency, I will make sure that I find that answer for them. And I think same for what I advocate to my associates as well. Yeah, so it's a second strength in a sense of mine, I feel. Right, and I think last but not least, I feel like, personally, I think this is also something that I only understood when I stepped foot in the industry. I feel like, personally, I feel like I have some form of, I would say that I'm someone that has a specific passion for leadership. So I think that was a spark that was created maybe in poly. I remember I told you just now. From our experiences. And I think that at that point of time, I still saw it as fun and games. Right? But I remember the times where sometimes, some of them got like private account, then I go and follow their spam. And sometimes they emo, then I felt the need to the urge to actually be there for them, like comfort them and all these things. Then I think to myself, how come I have this urge to do it, to just be there for people? Okay, I'm not saying I like sucking up to myself or anything, but it's just more of I just felt like I had to do it and I want to do it. I want to be there for these people. And over the years, I realized achieving my own successes did not amount to me as much as helping somebody else achieve their success. And I felt like with every person that put their trust in me in pointing them in the right direction, if I really am able to help them get to that location A to location B, I feel a very, very strong sense of accomplishment. Yeah, and I use that to drive me to continuously seek for more individuals that want more and want much more for themselves. And I think that has been my core passion ever since on. And I think that has led me to this relentless drive, relentless spirit, or what I want to say, right? I think it's still something that I adopt for myself and something that I ask and seek my associates to also go down that path.
It's really like a positive feedback loop because you love what you do and you really find a lot of meaning and fulfillment. It leads to it goes back to fueling more drive in you.
Yeah, it's like constant.
It's like you are fueling yourself and you're more motivated to go out there and really put your best foot forward. Yeah, so on the note of leadership, I'm sure people are curious, like, did Jon Kit start up with an easy leadership route, right? As you ventured into recruitment and to management, how was it like for you?
Wow, let's just say, fella, I meet this fella almost every other week I tell you. Like, I was fortunate enough, again, like for my associates to, place their faith and trust in me in guiding them towards the right direction in this career, right?
Yep.
And it's really not easy. I mean, yeah, of course, nobody will say it's very easy, but it's really not easy for me. And I think there were tears shared. There were stressful moments and everything, like in the meeting rooms with Caleb and everything. I call him late at night. But I would say that running your own team is very, very different because now you are not only responsible for your own, in FA context, you're not only responsible for your own sales, right? You are responsible for somebody else's, right, sales as well. And I had to also grasp hold of the concept that what might work for me might not work for somebody else. And if that is the case, how can we come up with solutions that are relatable to them and solutions that they might be able to adopt for themselves? So I think that's the key part, the sort of like the challenging part of things. So we need to have a lot of patience. And thankfully my parents, my mother and my father are very patient individuals. If you are watching this, thank you, mom and dad. They were very patient individuals, and I think that has made me also equally as patient, right? And I think taking the time to understand them, not just from a business, maybe mentor to mentee kind of relationship, but also a friend, brother or sister, or brother and brother kind of relationship. I think that also helped me in this journey, right? So I feel personally for me, a professional relationship is secondary to what's that called, friend to friend, or like sort of like how do I put it,
like we are partners.
Yeah, we are partners,
right?
Not just business partners.
Boss,
Correct. We're not just business partners, but more of like a personal, right, relationship as well. It's tough. It's still tough, and in fact, with every new associate that comes on board, I still feel that stress. I would be lying if I say I don't feel anything now, right? In fact, I feel more and more. But again, it's what drives me to move forward. Like, it's like what you said just now, the positive loop. I just look forward to the potential success that I could potentially help them to attain, and work together with them to attain. And I think that is what is fueling me, right? There's no better way to say it than the way you put it just now. Fueling me to constantly choose hard, I guess. Right? Correct. So no matter how tough it is, as it sounds, I believe that this is the main goal that I'll be working towards, which is to focus on the potential success and paint that picture for myself and keep revisiting that picture in my head, and that's what will fuel me to move forward.
That's the problem with success. Sometimes when you quote-unquote reach that level, like right now at where you are, people will think that, Jon Kit is good, everything is great. But there was a year I recall that Jon Kit brought, I think, more than 10 candidates down to potentially join the career, and almost every single one of them left. So all these things probably are not like, people don't know them. And what was your headspace like when you did all this work and end up everybody left? I think it was, firstly I think it's more than 10 I recall the number of chat, because usually when we will create a chat right, when there's a new candidate that's coming to explore, and I think the number of chats, if I go and search because there's usually a specific name that we put there, right? Something chat, right? Then when we search it out, I think it's really a lot. And I think
that year, I remember which specific year you were referring to, because that was the year that I really understood that, hey, actually, to scale in this business and to have more people sharing this same shared vision, right? To go out there and try to change the way people think about view financial advisory, change the way people view insurance agents specifically, right? I understood that that would be very meaningful for me. So I think in that year, I really outreach a lot to a lot of people, a lot of my friends. Yeah, the rejection is definitely not fun, right? But I feel with every rejection, I got a bit better, right? And I understood the career a bit more also, because as I'm explaining and sharing with you the pros and the cons of this career, right, I'm actually also reinforcing these pros and these cons, and I'm understanding the career even more and more, even more as I'm sharing this, as I go into this conversation again with another person. So that also, in a sense, number one, reinforce my conviction in what I do. Because if I'm saying something that I don't mean to somebody that I feel might be able to do well in this career, then in a sense, I also will feel very, maybe very gao wei lah, very like uncomfortable, right? But if I'm saying it and my conviction is getting stronger and stronger, I feel the receiving end, they can also feel it. And yeah, I feel, conviction is one thing. And the second thing I feel is, it helps me to also uncover who are the type of individuals that I feel I would love to work with, right? And form a business partnership, like what I mentioned just now. Apart from personal relationship, business partnership with, right, for the long term. So okay lah. With every, I have no regrets Really, I have no regrets. Like you can ask me over and over again, but I will tell you I have no regrets, because I think every specific decision I made, every specific conversation I had that turned out well or didn't turn out well, really shaped me to the person I am today. So, yeah lor, I think whatever had to happen, happened. Yeah. So
I really like the way you see things in a very positive light. I think many people, if they go through a route, by then they will just be defeated. They will feel that, I'm done, I'm not cut out for this, I'm not good, maybe I should just focus on sales advisory since that is what I'm good at. But for you, you were relentless. And you were mentioning that the second point, which is you also understand who you love to work with, right, in the long run. So when it comes to finding someone that is suitable for the career, perhaps could you share with us what are 3 traits or qualities you look at in a candidate?
Okay, I think over the years, as I mentioned to you just now, when I speak to more and more candidates, I am more sensitive to the kind of things that they mention and share with me. Again, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the best person to speak with about this career and everything, but I feel like there's a reason why maybe they are in front of me today, like they are agreeing to have this conversation with me. Maybe they are also searching for something that they never knew that they wanted or needed. Same as when Jovan, as mentioned just now, my very good friend, also brought up the conversation to me. I also didn't know that this was something that I could excel in, right? So over the years when I have this conversation, I feel like it has shaped the specific 3 values that I feel I look for in a new candidate. I think number 1 is they have to also be as open-minded as myself. I feel there is definitely more than one way to do a specific task or to complete a specific objective. And to me, I feel like the open-mindedness will also lead to coachability, which I think is important. And again, disclaimer is, if you cannot work with, for example, myself, doesn't necessarily mean that you're not cut out for the career. It just means that maybe the team dynamics might not suit you, or the coaching style might not suit you. Then I feel like there's no wrong in finding another environment that might suit you better. So I think first things first is open-mindedness and coachability to learning how maybe we have been running our business so far in AWM, for example. Okay. So the second thing I feel like, you realize most of the things that I'm looking for are some of the things that I embody also lah, right? Because I think, like attracts like ma. You know what I mean? Like attracts like. So to me, I feel they have to also, they have to also have a specific sort of tenacity in them. I feel like it would be good if there's a certain sense of tenacity in them. I can tell that if, let's say, they set their mind on something, they will go all out to achieve it and not allow themselves to come up with, for lack of better word, excuses to in a sense like deter them from doing so or attaining the kind of success that they want. I feel like if this is also visible in a candidate, I think that will be a very, very good plus point and it will make our relationship for the next hopefully 10, 20, 30 over years in this line, more meaningful and more, in a sense, we'll be more compatible also. Yeah, so I think that's the second thing. And yeah, so I think last but not least, I think one very important trait I feel, I think it's even more important than the first two is we must be able to vibe. Yeah, must be able to vibe. Meaning to say, a very simple one, like, I feel like if we can hold a proper conversation with each other and the energy that we have when we are talking to each other is correct, and then I don't feel like I want the conversation to end. I think that's very important also, because we're probably going to see each other every single week, almost every other day, to discuss about your case study, to discuss about how you should run your business. And I feel like if I cannot achieve a personal relationship, or at least not need to be very, very strong like BFF like that, but like if I cannot look at you and feel like, hey, I want to find out more about you, then I think it's very tough for us to even talk about and sort of like transit to a business partnership. So I mean, that's just me lah. I mean, I'm not sure about any other every other leader, but yeah, that's just me.
Feels like you're finding the next Jon Kit.
Actually, yeah, sounds like it. Yes, I just maybe lah. Maybe.
And conversely, there are many leaders out there. They're also looking to build their team, to do recruitment. So the question is, why should the person listening to this podcast choose you as a leader? What are some differentiation perhaps that you have that differentiates you from a typical leader?
Okay, I feel like, one thing about this industry, right, FA, right, which I'm sure a lot of people are aware of already, is that we are met with a lot of negativity. So negativity from the perspective of like stigma that you have to deal with, right? And secondly, rejections. Yeah, so like, hey Caleb, is there opportunity that I can look into your planning with you? Oh no, not really. I don't think I want to look at it now. Then it's like, no, so you're faced with negativity everywhere. Sometimes we also always make jokes lah, right? Wow, when our client calls us, we always ask them first things first is, hey, why you call me? Anything happen or not? So it's a lot of like negative scenarios and negativity in overall lah. And I think the point I'm trying to make is, for me, I feel like because I'm someone that is, in a sense, I often see the good in every situation, in every person, which sometimes some people tell me, not a very good thing. I feel personally it's something that complements what most of my associates experience. Most of them often come to me with a specific case study, very tough, very challenging. And that's where the sort of like the small negativity starts. Right? And I think for me, I'm always able to maneuver and find that specific gap that I can inject a bit of positivity in, and I think that helps to take them, sort of helps to encourage them to take that one more or two more steps in another direction that they never knew that they should take. And more often than not, they find that solution that they were looking for, and they realize that previously they were stuck there because of internal, personal, maybe mental blocks. I think that's one specific thing that I feel I could value add to new advisors that come into this line. So I think we need to make sure that when we are in a sales oriented environment, we keep our own mental health in check lah. I think that's my value add to most of the newer advisors.
I totally agree with that, because in sales it's a mental game.
Yes, it is.
Rejections after rejections and receiving bad news. You really need to really be strong mentally.
Yes.
And for you, after knowing you for a few years, I know you're someone that is really, you see like I mentioned, you see good things you see the cup as half full instead of half empty. I think it's a very important mindset to embody, especially if you are doing sales, or being in a sales career.
Correct.
Okay, just to wrap up, maybe could you share with us what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in this career, or what is your vision moving forward?
I think I touched on a bit of it just now, which is basically the fact that if one person, if it's just one specific person that's carrying out a specific vision, I think we can only achieve like so much. Right? But if there's a team or a group of people that move in tandem and towards the same vision, then I feel like it's more powerful and it's more impactful to the society. And I think most people might or might not be aware. Most people might not be aware that in this line, right, in terms of FAs, right, the last I checked, we were only at, in terms of licensed consultants, there were only about maybe 20 plus K, right? Forgive me if I'm a bit inaccurate, but I think it should be around that range. And 20 plus K, the ratio of 20 plus K licensed financial consultants towards a ratio of 6 million population, right, there is really a lot of essentially opportunities for FAs like us, right, to spread this message or vision of changing this or like sort of like tackling this stigma that is so strong already, that is so present in this industry. And I think with more and more people, right, we can potentially at least shift or budget a bit in the right direction. Yeah, and I think for me, if I am able to build this team and expand this team, right, to from 100 to 500 or to 700 to 800, I think that would be ideal for me as a form of legacy that I can leave behind. I think the main thing is still dies down to why I'm doing this in the first place. Again, right, is because I feel like achieving my own success is not as important or not as impactful to me as compared to helping others achieve their own form of success. Yeah, so I think that's what will drive me, for moving forward.
I share a vision as well, because in this career, one of the reasons why I joined is I see a huge gap in the industry. Many people are over prospected and underserved. People buy a lot of products, and after that, there's no servicing. It stops there, and some advisors that leave the industry don't hand over their clients properly for the next advisor. Then after a while, they become orphan clients, and they're just paying for everything that they have bought. Whether is it suited to their needs, no one is reviewing for them, and just pay forever.
Correct.
Yeah, so that vision that you have to really help this stigma, right, such that people can get proper financial planning. I really share that vision as well. So if there's one advice you will give for some of the audience out there that may be thinking, is financial advisory a suited career for me? Is it a good career for me? And they are fearful because of the stigma, whether is it stable, whether is it saturated. What advice would you give them?
Okay, so I think if you are aspiring to be an FA, right, and you are afraid of the stigma, the simple question to ask yourself is, if you're an FA, will you actually embody the traits that make up a bad FA? Right? For example, you mentioned that why there is a stigma is because FAs are pushy, FAs are very into hard selling, FAs are very they speak first before they think, right? And I think if these are the traits that make up a bad FA, if you are in the shoes of an FA, will you actually embody these traits? Because if the answer is no, then why are you afraid of the stigma? Yeah, I think that was the key question that I asked myself also, because this was actually the key reason why I didn't want to do it in the first place. Yeah, but I thought to myself, I asked myself, like, if I'm not going to embody these traits, then what is there to be afraid of? Yeah, so I think that's one piece of maybe perspective that I would like to leave the people that are aspiring to be FAs.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and wisdom. I've taken away a lot from all your life experiences, through your school, through your personal life, your family, all the way to how you manage time as a student advisor and also building a team today. Yeah, so I hope the audience have taken away some good golden nuggets, and if there's anything, of course, you can always feel free to reach out to Jon Kit. Okay, if not, that's it for this episode. See you in the next one.